Now you're no longer in the bathroom.
Welcome to Uncle Weepy's Depression Dungeon, the least helpful self-help podcast. Here are your hosts, Paul Armstrong and Jeremy Fuchsa.
How's it going?
Hey.
Hey.
We've had vacations and field trips and I don't know. I know you had a vacation.
We've had all of those things in the above, I think.
I've had a lot of days where I'm like, another person has quit and we're giving them a throwing away drinking. That's happened 3 times.
Three times. Let's see, and
in
it's
the
been
last
a month
and a half.
So it's happened every week except for like maybe once.
I mean, it was like 2 weeks notice stuff, but still, joyous times.
Yeah, that's especially if it's one of those guys that you know him, but
Or even when they're leaving, they're like, "Yeah, I'm not even sure I'm making the right decision." You're like, "Well, it's a little too late now."
Time for you to figure out the answer to that.
Yeah. Tell me about Disney World. I love Disney World. It's my favorite place.
Disney World was a lot of fun. It was incredibly exhausting. We were there probably at least 2, if not 3 days too long.
Wait, so how many days were you there?
We were in the park for 6 days.
Oh, that is a lot, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot to do.
Yeah.
That's a lot to do. And we saw a lot of stuff. I think we did everything, nearly everything that we wanted to do. I know my oldest son was a little bit bummed that he was not able to get a fast pass to get into Test Track on Epcot.
Oh, yeah, that's always a pretty long wait.
Yeah.
It is really fun, though.
The standard wait was about 2 hours, and that just did not fit into, because the crazy thing is you think, okay, well, you're there for 6 days, and the 6 days is you've got plenty of time to space it out, but you don't.
There's a lot of walking.
There's a lot of walking, and the 6 days get filled with all sorts of stuff, because my mom, who booked the entire trip for the family, did it through a travel agent, and so the travel agent just filled us full of fun, and it was crazy.
Did the travel agent book your food and everything?
Yeah. Like,
were you
said, we're going to go eat here this time, and we're going to go do this, and yeah. So I mean, we pretty much, with the exception of like the next to the last day, where we were like, you know what, we've eaten this place twice, let's cancel that and let's just go find our other place.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
Where'd you end up eating? Did you do resorts or actual in park?
We did in park, during the days.
Oh, okay.
So
lunches, right?
Yeah, we mostly did Be Our Guest, the Beauty and the Beast themed place, which was good. I mean, the food was good. We did one lunch, one dinner there, or not one lunch, one dinner, one lunch, one breakfast. It was good, but yeah, when we saw that it was going to be the third lunch there, then we're like, let's do something else, and we went for some crazy ass shit like Pecos Bills.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Tortilla turds, and the food wasn't good, but it was faster. So
you tend to see in park stuff gets very the same. Like, oh, this is the same food that was over there, just with a new name because it's in a different themed area.
Oh yeah, totally.
Unless you go to Epcot and go to the countries, but those are nearly impossible to get restaurant food or to do dinners.
Yeah.
We always try when we would go, and it's like Italy booked for 3 years in advance. That's it's like all of them. So we always end up going to the different hotel resorts and eating in their restaurants.
Oh, that's
pretty good.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, doing a dinner in the Contemporary once, and I really wanted to go. Well, for one thing,
you go to the Polynesian, and they give you all the fun stuff there. Or you can go to the Floridian, and it's sort of like a uptight colonial southern.
Well,
thing.
and we were scheduled to do the Polynesian on the last night, and everybody was just so over it.
Was it a hot, humid, sweaty, awful?
Oh yeah. So we just we canceled Polynesian, and just the nice thing was we stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and I don't know, just through sheer amount of money I think that my mom spent on this whole thing, they added club level access.
Ooh.
Yes. So we were able to go to the Kilimanjaro Club up on the top floor anytime we wanted, and there was constantly a spread of food.
Yeah, so they got
beer,
free fruit
wine.
drinks.
Oh yeah. So I mean, when we canceled, when we canceled Polynesian, we were just like, well, fuck it, we're just going to go up. we're going upstairs. We're going to 6,
Nice.
And had all sorts of food and beers and wines, and we're like, you know what? It's sure we missed the fire dancers and all that stuff, but I mean, we came out all right, and it was fun. It was fun. It was fun. It was stressful for me, being self-employed, because a full week of fun at Disney World, where I knew that I was never going to have enough energy to come back to the hotel and do any work, made me very nervous, because that made a week of zero income. So that was tough. And I'll admit, it made it less fun. I know that there were moments where I was, I had my poopy pants on, and everybody's like, everybody's having fun. Why do you look like you're so sad? I think, well, because I just threw $500 out the door today.
It's like every hour is this much money, so just
so
FYI.
So that was a little rough. But then you probably saw, one evening there towards the end, I was just like, I don't want to go swimming. I'm too tired for that. I have this club access, so I took my laptop up and had olives and cheese and a shit ton of wine, and got 2 or 3 hours of done. So at least it wasn't a complete wash.
I remember when I think I was freelancing when we went there once, and our kids were young enough that it was like, and we were, like where you were, it's easy to get in and out of the park, easy-ish, I should say, after the buses. But it would be like, all right, we'll come home or come back to the place for lunch, eat there. So I did like a couple hours work then, but it never felt like quite enough to do anything. So it almost was more frustrating, because I'm like, well, internet's slow. I barely got anything done. And now I'm more grumpy.
Yeah.
Mostly because I was sweaty and I forgot to bring like Gold Bond powder to stop the fire thing that just burns from all the sweat.
Oh man,
over your whole body.
Yeah,
just Gold Bond. It's like, I'm just gonna fill my underwear full of Gold Bond before we go out. Thank you.
Well, yeah. What I did, and this is pick of the week. Pick of the week is
Pro tip.
Is the Gold Bond friction stick.
Nice.
It's like a deodorant stick type of thing. Don't know what's in it, but man, you slather that shit all over your crotch, and you're pretty good. And I realized this because I didn't do it the first day. Everything was on fire. Did it the second day on. I was great every time I got home. So yeah, if you're going anywhere where you're walking around in humid weather for more than 3 to 4 miles per that day, slather it up with Gold Bond friction stick.
Sounds like this thing that I had, which has a very a much worse name. It's called Fresh Balls.
Fresh Balls. I have Fresh Balls. I just didn't bring Fresh Balls with me.
Fresh Balls definitely works.
I love Fresh Balls.
They named it that just for the fact you're like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is what it's about. It's about having fresh balls. Like, okay. But it does work. Because those, man, it gets hot. And
it does.
You get about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon from sweating all day, and you're like, I'm having a hard time walking right now. Feel everything's burning right now.
Everything is burning. All burns.
And then you see other men who are just walking around like, I hate everything, and I don't want to move. And just make it stop.
Yeah.
Are you kids into any of the? Do they like the bigger rides, or are they too young for like Space Mountain and stuff?
No, you know what? They did them all.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, even the 5-year-old is like we were all down for the stuff, and my oldest, he was the one that we worried about the most because we took him to Silver Dollar City.
Oh, I know that.
When he was...
It's Redneck Disneyland,
Yeah, Redneck Disneyland. We took him when he was about 6, and we rode one, not even like a looping roller coaster or anything, just we rode one, and he was like, nope. And so that kind of stuck with him, and we're like, and so, of course, as you do these days, you watch YouTube videos of, and so like for months he extensively watched YouTube videos of all the rides that we were suggesting that we go on, and so he watched and he was really nervous about Space Mountain, but then while we were there, he found a YouTube video of Space Mountain with the lights on, and he saw that and he was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah. And I mean, it ended up being great. So we did Space Mountain, we did Tower of Terror, we did.
I hate Tower of Terror personally. Like, I just don't like free falls. But
the
in between it is fun. Actually, did it change yet? Was it Guardians?
No, it's not Guardians of the Galaxy. It was still Twilight Zone. I think Disneyland did Guardians.
So it will be at Disney World.
And my wife had gone on that ride about 20 years ago, and she was like, "Oh, you guys, it's fine. We'll go up. They'll open up the window, and then we're gonna drop, and then that's gonna be the end of it."
And that's not the end of it.
That is no, not anymore.
No, it's randomized, I believe.
Yeah, I mean it's like halfway down and then all the way up, and then about 10 feet down, and then all the way up again, and then maybe about 40 feet down, but then all the way up again, and then that was and my nephew, who is a year older than Hayden, so he's 6, getting ready to be 7. Like in the middle of this whole thing, he's like, "Aunt Robin, you're a liar!"
You're a liar.
Yes, and so she felt so bad after we got done with that ride, and then so of course she had to get online and look, and she's like, "Okay, good, they did change this ride about 8 years ago," and so I'm not on crack. I really truly did ride the ride that I described. It's just different. And so that was kind of the rough one.
The unexpected.
We did the Expedition Everest at Animal Kingdom, which was awesome.
Never got on that one. It was always too crowded.
That one was really cool. We did
Big Thunder Mountain.
We did Big Thunder Mountain, Splash Mountain, Seven Doors Mine Train.
I didn't get on that either. That was like a 4-hour wait, the mine train. So I never got to ride that.
That's a fun one. I mean, it's the smallest of all the roller coasters.
Brand new, but it's like it was brand new when we went, so everyone was trying to get on
it. Well, it was actually kind of hard to get on still.
Rock and Roller Coaster, that's still there?
We didn't do the Rock and Roller Coaster. It is still there. We didn't do that. We didn't have time for that. The highlight for everyone, hands down, was the Avatar ride.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't open when we were there. Was that? Is that in the movie studios or whatever?
Yeah, it's in Hollywood Studios. It's over in Pandora, which is this probably one of the best art directed areas of all the parks, especially at night because the whole thing is like black lit and
oh right,
all the shit glows and it was like crazy.
Do they give you your hair that you have to plug into things?
No, but it was really interesting the way the game. I mean, it almost was like a game, but the way the ride worked is instead of getting yourself into a bed like in the movie, you were sat into this kind of like motorcycle. So like if you play like a motorcycle game and you sit on this thing that looks a little bit like a motorcycle, and so they strap you into that. Not really strapping, but they just kind of it just kind of constricts around you, and so you're in this thing. You got handlebars, and there's a little something that looks like a touch screen in front of you, and it says, right. Okay, you're getting ready to go into all this stuff, and it starts kind of flashing lights, and so while the lights are flashing and kind of distracting you, this window just opens up in front of your little motorcycle carriage. And then it starts doing the tunnel thing, like whenever, they would link in the movie and everything.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, boom, there you were. And of course, it was like a 360-degree screen, so it was completely immersive. And then you just took off on this thing. And I mean, there was wind and water, and you smelled stuff as you flew through things. And it was. I
well, that right there is the future of all.
Oh yeah,
amusement parks.
Oh yeah,
it's no footprint. It's fully immersive. You're not going to know that it's not. Real.
Yeah, and I mean, and they've got two or three examples of that in the parks, Hollywood Tours also has Star Tours, which I think is probably the oldest one.
And it's going to be gone and replaced with whatever they're going to do.
Yeah, and I mean, it totally feels like the oldest version because it's a completely different feeling. It's not immersive.
So I can remember when I went as a kid, there was an area called New Horizons in Epcot.
Uh-huh.
And they had this sort of...
Soarin'?
No, not Soarin'. That's in the Earth one, whatever that's called.
Yeah, because they still got that.
No, it's defunct now. It's they turned it into something completely different. But they would have this, you would be able to, it's sort of like they do with the Mission Mars thing now, but this was like in the 80s. Like you would have this immersive like spaceship journey. You had to pick out of 3 buttons which experience to have, and you kind of flew around, and they kind of try to cordon you off by putting blinders up next to you.
Yeah.
And have you go through it. But that was in the 80s, and like even then it felt cool. And to see how they've gone, I think like Spider-Man and Universal Studios was like the next big, like, oh, it's not real, but it's real with all the hydraulics and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, you think about it in terms of like, why wouldn't you do that for a amusement park? You could change it and upgrade it. You don't have to take up a lot of space. It doesn't require maintenance other than technical maintenance. Not like someone could really get hurt. And there's all this metal, and it's not as cool because it doesn't look cool from the outside. You don't see like a giant hill or anything like that. But
right, but
I can see it being totally what people are going to do.
Oh. Yeah,
like imagine the land speeders in Star Wars going through the trees and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, this is purpose built for like a speeder bike. Yeah,
I'm sure they're going to do that. I can't imagine they wouldn't. Or through the Death Star trenches.
Yeah, all of those things would be perfect for this, and it would be all three of those rides where it was that persistence of motion where your mind was being tricked into moving, whereas you really weren't moving a whole lot at all.
No.
Those were definitely my 3 favorite rides because it was so trippy.
My always favorite, I always like Hollywood Studios. Just going through the main street there is always fun.
Yeah.
And when we went, they had that Star Wars where you could meet all of the characters. And my dad was like obsessed with seeing Darth Vader. It was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, the Jedi training thing, or
yeah. Well, no, that's in. No, you're right. That's in there. But there's they have a room that's right, the Brown Derby restaurant or whatever. And you can go inside and you can see Chewbacca. And,
Darth did not
Vader
know that.
And, yeah. You get to take pictures with them and they talk to you for a second.
Oh, that's cool. The boys did that Jedi training thing, which was kick ass because
fun.
They got to have a lightsaber duo with Kylo Ren, and it was really cool. Yeah. They have an Indiana Jones thing there.
Yes,
that looked really awesome. We went to it. It started, but then
was it the stunt show?
Yeah, the stunt show. Mm-hmm. There was such a gigantic thunderstorm that came in. They just stopped it because they were like, "Hey, you know what? This entire set is metal, so we're done." And they're like, "You're welcome to just sit here because it is hurricaning outside, but we're not going to do the show anymore." And that really kind of sucked. But
I kind of wished, because Disneyland has a rare Indiana Jones ride, except it's a ride you get into a Jeep and it goes through.
Oh, cool!
So it's like a hydraulic Jeep thing, so bounces you and moves you around, even though that's not really what's happening. It's a really fun one. This would be great. And they somehow nestled it into Disneyland, which is way less land. I think,
really, really. Yes, it's really tight compared to the world.
Yeah, that's always, I think what always I marvel at is how brilliant Disney is at creating an experience. Just if you want to talk about user experience, Disney has it down pat.
Yeah.
You don't really you just don't even care that there's an outside world. There isn't one.
Nope.
It's that you're there. The transportation is through them. Everything you drive by is them. Every piece of signage and print and smell and it's everything is just catered.
Yeah.
And planned and thought, and it's impressive.
It is. It is very impressive. I was a big fan of that throughout the week. It was a lot of fun.
Except for the sweaty balls.
What is even happening?
I got that crazy Disney rash that people get.
What, is it shaped like Mickey?
No, have you not ever seen that?
I don't know.
Okay, well,
I don't know that I want to. Is this going to be a lemon party situation going on?
Oh no, it's not a lemon party thing. No. No, Disney rash it's also known as golfer's rash. It is also known as exercise-induced vasculitis, and basically in hot, humid conditions where you are walking 10 to 11 miles a day and you're not used to walking 10 to 11 miles per day, your capillaries around your ankles start to burst.
Yeah. I'm looking at the pictures. Oh,
yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
No, I haven't had that.
Yeah. So I got that about 3/4 of the way through. It was gone within 2 or 3 days of getting home.
Disney foot.
Yeah, Disney foot. It's a. It itches a little bit. It doesn't feel great, but it's just kind of.
Maybe it should be called Disney Pox.
Disney Pox. Because it does. It looks like a pox. It's a little funky. It's a little funky because it was we got back to the hotel room and I kicked up my feet and my wife was like, oh my God, what is wrong with your feet? What do you mean what's wrong with my feet? Your ankles. I was like, oh yeah, those are pretty gross. So
we always did afternoon swimming.
Yeah,
we'd just go back and swim because it's just too damn hot.
Yep. They did that most of the.
How do they not
the
have more indoor waiting or shade? I just don't. Walking around, I'm like, why is everything in the sun? I want to kill everyone.
And I feel like they really have done a good job on having a whole ton of it that is, but at the same time, there's still so much of it that just isn't.
Yeah.
And it's
They don't have nearly enough of those spray mister things that cool you off.
No, I think I only saw one of those.
Yeah, there's not nearly enough of them. Yeah. You got a nice break though, even though you worried every day about work.
Yeah, even though I worried every day about work, and then of course it got me to go deep down rabbit holes of things that I swear to God were there but aren't there anymore, and
that happens all the time.
And the number one thing that I really went crazy on was 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah, that's where the mine
the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is now. Yeah, and I was like, that was pretty sure was my favorite thing when I went there as a kid, and it's not even here. And obviously, I'm not missing it, and I know it's not here. But where the hell was it? And so then I started, going through and looking at old YouTube videos of VHS tapes that had been converted of people going through the ride. And
it's an original.
And
one of the very few original rides left. I think Dumbo is.
Yeah.
I think Peter Pan is, if it's even there anymore.
Yeah, no, Peter Pan is there. It wasn't an original ride. I think that came a couple of months after the launch, but yes, Peter Pan is still there. Mr. Toad is not there anymore.
That was a fun
Haunted Mansion is an original, which is another one that I kind of went nuts on. I'm going, man, I don't remember this being quite as I mean, it's not gruesome or scary, but I don't remember it being quite as.
Have they updated it? But
they've updated a little bit.
Well, they were starting to incorporate a Nightmare Before Christmas into it, which makes sense. It's
that is not there. No, I think I saw some stuff. I saw some stuff online where maybe they do that around Christmas time. They put a little Jack Skellington into the whole thing, but by and large, no. And it is pretty much the same as what it's always been. But I just remember some of the heads popping out and stuff not being so like zombie-like.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, they kind of.
They still have that. At the end, there's like some severed head or something. I can't remember. There's like some spooky woman talking somewhere. There's a lot of little spooky things. Like, ooh, I don't remember that. But
there's like the floating head in the middle of the thing. Yes, there's the floating head in the middle of the thing, and then there's of course the ghosts that sit in the the buggy with you.
Yeah, the little mirror thing they do.
Yeah, and I read somewhere, and and if it did it while we were there, I totally missed it, but. There apparently are features in the haunted house that reads your magic band and will put your name onto tombstones.
That's interesting.
And stuff like that, which I thought was really interesting and fun. I didn't see it. I read it after the fact. I was like, oh crap, maybe I should have been looking for that. My mom ran my brother-in-law over with a Jazzy. That was awesome. Still not convinced that it wasn't on purpose.
Scoot. He got run over by a Scoot.
Oh yeah. She had that thing turned all the way up to turtle, and according to her, the sunscreen had made her fingers slippery, and. I totally ran him over. His shoe flew off. And this is in the absolute middle of Disney's Animal Kingdom. And it was something.
You just sat back and laughed like, glad that wasn't me.
Well, I honestly, I didn't catch the first bit of it. I didn't catch the first bit of it because I was over playing drums. Like they had a bunch of drums. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm playing some drums, having a good time. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. And then I hear screaming and yelling, and I knew immediately if they're screaming and yelling, it is my group. And sure enough.
Maybe do this.
I saw a Toyota factory. We went on a field trip.
Oh, that's
There's
interesting.
the largest factory for making cars in the world is in Kentucky. It is the size
Really?
of 192 football fields.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's huge. Can't take pictures. You had to leave your phones and everything. So we had to go on this tour and couldn't take any pictures. But they make the Camry, all the versions of the Camry, and then some other Lexus and another car. But yeah, it was insane.
Huh.
Like it had its own. It made the engines there. It had its own plastics department. It
Wow.
makes engines for other manufacturers. We just went around this tram for like 2 hours, and God, I have felt so lost because like everything's double decker. Like you have the people making the car, and like above them are the doors or chairs or like the frames of other cars. And it was like it was overwhelming. But that's kind of interesting to see.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
I'd never been in a car factory before. So
no,
it's kinda neat.
I've never done anything like that at all.
Interesting facts like average pay is $28. You can make up to $45 an hour. They offer free tuition to people who are in college age. So 18 and over is when they will hire, and they'll do off hours for colleges. Will come to them to the factory to teach, so you can get a degree, and they'll pay for it.
Huh.
And you get 21 days off, plus 2 weeks that everyone has off in like October and some other time because they do full factory. They shut down and clean and upgrade and all that stuff. But it was a mess of humans and robots and lots of people on little scoots going around with racks of metal and plastic, and every now and then you'd see like a 3-wheel bike with a bell and a basket in the back. They're just riding with their reply, like, what the hell is happening? It's just so
They're not running over people.
No. Yeah, there was a lot of so if you get to an intersection, you're supposed to stop and point to which direction you're going next. So you see a lot of signs on the ground, stop and point. That's why every time like "Moo." Whenever we stop, you just point at somebody. I see your face. Just point at them.
Media Corner.
Saw movies. Saw Solo. I liked Solo a lot, actually.
Still haven't gone and seen that yet. Still
Saw
haven't gone to see
Deadpool
that.
2. That was fun.
Oh, very nice. Very
Fun.
nice.
I think that's it. I think that's all I've seen.
We decided to cut the cable cord. We did that.
Nice.
Yeah, we did that. Our neighborhood has a Facebook group, and somebody had posted on there, have you seen that Google Fiber bills are going up by $20 again? And we looked at it and it was like, oh God, we're gonna be paying $200 a month for
TV and all that.
Yeah, for TV and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cancel everything except for the gigabit internet. So we're gonna pare it all the way back, and we're just gonna supplement with services because we've already got Netflix, we've already got Hulu. So now we just need something else to kind of fill the holes.
And you have Amazon Prime, I assume, too.
Yeah, and we have Amazon Prime. So we've already got 90% of it.
That's a lot.
We've just got to fill that last 10%. And so we did a lot of experimenting with services over the last week. We started with Sling, of course.
Yeah.
We started with that. That was okay.
Are you looking for live?
Yeah,
stuff?
for
Did you try
live
Hulu
stuff.
Live?
That's actually what we ended up with.
Yeah, I was
Hulu
curious. I
Live.
don't have it, but I've seen it.
Yeah. We did Sling. The UI was okay. It drove me insane how some shows you could pause and rewind, but some shows you could not, and there was no rhyme or reason to whether or not you were going to know whether or not a show is,
So shows, not channels.
I never gave it enough time to figure out whether it was certain channels versus certain shows. I just looked at this and I was like, this inconsistency drives me nuts, and this shall not stand. So yeah. So we got rid of that. We then picked up Hulu Live TV and picked up DirecTV Now at the same time.
Right.
Just to kind of figure it out.
You don't need to have a satellite for DirecTV Now?
Nope. DirecTV Now
is
a complete streaming system.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Their drawback is you can get yourself into a package where you are saving zero money whatsoever, because like it starts out like, hey, here we've got this $35 package, and that's great, and I really liked DirecTV Now because it was the closest one to having a good grid-based channel guide like you would expect with a cable company and all that stuff, and and the UI was really good. Everything worked really well. We did not have Fox Sports Midwest, which was the deal breaker for my wife. She's like, well, you said that it said that it had it. And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I looked it up and it said that it had it. And then I realized that, it had it if we would have paid for the $50 version instead of the $35 version. And I'm like, I'm not paying $50 to get you one channel. So we already had it with Hulu, so we just canceled it all. And so Hulu Live TV is what we've gone with. The Live TV, out of all of them, Hulu's Live TV interface is garbage.
Really?
But, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. When you go to hit the guide, it gives you...
Wait, so what do you have as your... Are you Apple TV? What are you using?
Yeah. So, in the living room.
Because I know that they're... Like, I have Hulu, but I have Roku, and it's completely different interface than on Apple.
Yeah, we have Apple TV in the living room. We're going to get a Roku. We're probably going to get a Roku for the bedroom as soon as I get a new TV back there, because for some reason both of the HDMI ports on that TV are dead.
Cool.
Don't know why.
Of course.
Yeah. So right now, nothing down there. We really don't watch TV in the basement that much, but if we did, we could just get the apps for the PS4, and that would be fine. But yeah, the Hulu's Apple TV app leaves a fair amount to be desired. Period. Anytime you try to watch anytime you try to watch any show on Hulu, whether it's live or whether it's just part of their library, the subtitles turn on. And even though you go to the setting where it says subtitles and off is checked, the subtitles are on. So you have to go and you have to hit off, and then the subtitles go off, which is all fantastic. But when you're binge watching a show, say like Community, like I did, you'd be watching it and it's like, and then the next episode comes on and the subtitles come back on. And then you have to go through and turn the subtitles off again. So the subtitles also do that on live TV. That's a pain in the ass. The live TV UI is their problem is they tried to get clever. And somebody said, hey, we can disrupt the way that we have been doing this grid-based guide system forever with cable TV. How can we shift our paradigms and come up with something new? And so you get this alphabetized list of the channels that you get, and here's the list of, and it's not even one of those things like it's 9:00 and then here's a 9:30 block or anything like that. There's no blocks. It's just a list of here's what's on right now. and there's a little progress bar that shows how much is left of that show. And so you go down, and you have no idea what's coming up next on any of the channels until you select that channel to see what's on right now. Then it will pop a little flyout off to the right that will show you what's coming on next. And there's not a way to find out what's coming on in 2 hours or any of that stuff. It's just like, here's what's coming next, and that's it.
I'm trying to think of how I would have, because there's limitations in interface on those type of thing. Like Apple has strict HIG guidelines for Apple TV, because I just made an Apple TV app, so I looked through it all.
Yeah.
So they have a streaming grid system, so I'm trying to think if there's a better, I guess the way I would have done it is, you know how they already have sort of like a horizontal stream,
right,
for like whatever, whether it's like trending now and it goes horizontally to all these things. Maybe that could be like 9 o'clock, and then you just have all of the shows that are on at 9 going across, and then 9:30 everything going across.
Yeah, well, and and that's one of the things. It's like
it just gets hard to think.
They have stuff like that, and it's obvious that that's how they want you to use the app. They want you to use it through a discovery mode where you go, oh, well, here are my favorite things that it has learned that I like, and then it's showing me that these things are coming up later. No, then that's cool. I don't know when they're coming up later. I can, go in and click the button to add to my stuff, which will, in effect, put it on a DVR for you.
Because essentially, the thing, I guess the thing with them is like, it's a channel, but it's not a channel. It's not literally accessing it like on a dial, like traditional TV might have been, which created the same pattern, even though it's not literal. You're not turning a dial that turns into a frequency. It's digitally
that
sent,
really is true. Right.
So like traditional TV kept that pattern for carryover from a technology that was necessary. It's no longer necessary, but we didn't break that pattern in terms of like floppy disk as the save icon, even though nobody uses or barely anybody even knows what that is anymore. It's still being used.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, like you said, they're getting clever and or had literal limitations based on the platform they are on to try to figure out a way to present content to people.
Yeah.
It's an interesting dilemma, though. I mean,
it is, and I buy that last one less because DirecTV Now and Sling both had...
Both for Apple TV?
Yeah, both for Apple TV. Both had a recognizable grid-based guide system.
Right.
And so, I don't know.
There's enough variability in what Apple gives you that you could probably figure out a way to do it. I'm wondering if Hulu just did it as it's a fairly new thing for them, so I'm wondering if they try to force it into
and
traditional.
They show it that it's beta. I mean, they're not pussyfooting around. They're like, hey man, this is beta. It's
Isn't it like was it like 40 something a month?
Yes,
44 or whatever.
Yeah, I did because I was already paying $15 a month for Hulu without commercials.
Yep.
And so I just did the $43 a month for Hulu plus live TV without, or Hulu without commercials plus live TV.
Yeah.
Which, of course, you get commercials.
That's a lot of stuff, though. I mean,
it is a lot of stuff. I mean, you're not hurting for any sort of content.
No.
It is weird that even on the live TV section of it, when it does go to commercials, it does the thing how when Hulu has commercials on, up in the corner it says advertisement and a little stopwatch.
Yeah.
Every time a commercial comes on live TV, it does that, which again kind of starts making me think of, well, what is this really? Because
if live TV has commercials, and if you bought something that doesn't have commercials, then what do you?
Well, but if if it's really just showing a live satellite stream, just digitizing a live satellite stream from somewhere, then it, to me, wouldn't.
That's not the way it works, though.
Either have the intelligence to be able to discern the ads, or wouldn't really behoove them to have the intelligence to discern the ads. And so
I don't believe that it's I think it's all digital broadcast. I don't think it has satellite anything. I think it's all relay, not relay. That's probably not the right word, but I don't believe that it's beamed down from space. I don't think. I could be wrong. But I think they're getting a digital signal, and I bet that signal contains...
Yeah, then that would contain some sort of metadata.
Yeah, and they're probably interrupting that advertisement to bring something else.
Right.
I would assume, because they don't have the ability to know local... You know what I mean? Like, you're getting a digital signal.
Yeah, local availabilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all interesting stuff. Like,
it is.
There's... Well, I mean... Who knows now that Time Warner and AT&T are going to be some mega...
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Lord. Yeah. Did you just see that also now Comcast is trying to... No, who was it? Someone else is now suddenly trying to buy someone. Like, oh, if this is approved, then we're doing this. And it's like two other huge...
I mean, Sprint has been trying to buy T-Mobile for a while. Was that it?
No, I want to say it was Comcast and Universal? No, Time Warner owns Universal.
Comcast offers $65 billion for Fox.
That's it. There you go. Told you. Yeah. What the hell? The thing about a monopoly is that
NBC want to own Fox. Because
does Comcast owns NBC?
Yeah, Comcast owns NBC.
I thought Time Warner owned NBC. No, Time Warner owns Universal, but I thought Universal owned NBC. Because it's NBC Universal, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You're right.
So, Fox is Fox. They would own, they would own Fox News, FXX, Movies.
But the crazy thing is that this Comcast bid is now pulling the rug under Disney because Disney was trying to buy Fox.
Correct. Yeah, but I mean, but still, it's like there's not going to be any. They said that they're trying to compete with Netflix, and I think that is complete shit. There's no way that Netflix is making any sort of the same kind of dent that they can make.
No.
But it's because cable companies aren't creating content, so they're trying to own places that create content.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're like. Well, Netflix is a platform and a content creator, and we want to be your cable and your content. Like, they're just going to kill all of our great choice.
Yeah, well, and I'm reading, this is an Ars Technica article that I'm reading about this. The sale would also include Fox's 30% stake in Hulu. Comcast already owns 30% of Hulu, so this deal would give it majority control of the online video service. Disney also has a 30% stake in Hulu because Disney owns ABC.
Yeah, Hulu is a joint venture thing.
Yeah, and Time Warner owns 10% of Hulu.
Which means that Hulu will then probably start to offer a lot less shows because it's going to be like, it's only going to be our shows.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's going to end up being.
Well, because that's what happened with Netflix too. Is all of these channels like ABC, CBS, decided they wanted to do their own thing, and they didn't allow Netflix to license any of their shows, and they were going to make their own streaming channels, which all backfired on all of them. It's just, they're trying to force their antiquated ways into a new reality without refusing to play ball.
Yeah.
It feels like the world in general. I'm old and I'm dying and I refuse to acknowledge it. That's just what's happening. A whole bunch of people who are like, I don't have much longer in this world. I'm going to take it down in a blaze of glory.
Yeah, I'm just going to burn it down as I can get out of here.
I was telling my wife, the other day. She's just like, why are there so many hospitals and senior homes going up all over? I'm like, because the baby boom generation is getting old.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a huge population. So I just looked up to see how much it was. It's big. The gray wave, I think is what they call it. Because that happened in Japan.
Wave.
But she's like, well, then what are we going to do with all these hospitals and stuff we're building? I'm like, well, I think we should turn them into vertical gardening, vertical farms. Because the world's going to be hot as hell and unpredictable weather. We might as well move our farming indoors. And go up rather than out.
Yeah.
Use solar, use LEDs, use hydroponic growing, provide jobs, rather than have empty spaces that would knock down. But it's just like, why? Is there just that many older people? Yes. And they're screwing the world up because they don't want to die.
Yeah.
There's no, I don't care about the environment. I'm not going to live much longer, and I don't care about your health benefits because I'm not living that much longer. And I don't care about your immigrants because they don't look like me, and I want the world to be like it was in 1952 or whatever. Ugh, it's just, it's just all the news you could just pretty much break down to, oh, it's a bunch of old white people who don't like the fact that the world is changing. Cool. And some young white people, but it's because those old white people taught those young white people how to think.
Yeah.
And I bring it back down.
Do you have questions or topics for the show? Call 816-535-1094 and leave a voicemail. Or reach us on Twitter at Uncle Weepy. If you enjoyed this show, first rate and review the show on iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts. Your review helps the podcast robot suggest this show to other listeners. Second, consider supporting the show on Patreon. Patrons of the show get access to exclusive after-show material. Several levels of support are available. Visit patreon.com/Uncle Weepy for details.